Good day everyone, I'm Melo S. Ilaw from 2E2. So what I've learned about CDI-01, Crim 02, and LEA-02.
So let's start with Fundamentals of Criminal Investigation Intelligence or CDI-01. So this subject na discuss sir is may mahalagang chapter, yung Fundamentals of Criminal Investigation, Crime Scene Investigation, Arrest, Search and Seizure. So napakahalaga na pag-aralan itong tatlo sapagkat naandun yung pinakang scope na lahat ng mga idea at knowledge na pwedeng ma-adapt ng bawat isa na kung saan dito natin matututunan kung paano mag-gather or mag-conduct ng investigation at malalaman natin yung tamang proseso at mga method ng pangongolekta ng mga evidence na magagamit natin sa paglutas ng isang kaso. Gayun din yung pag-aresto sa isang kriminal. Ito ba'y gagamitan natin ng warrant of arrest or yung without warrant of arrest?
Ang na-digest ko sa diniscuss sir is all about criminal investigation. So, ano nga bang criminal investigation? In my insight, is a scientific field that comprises the evaluation of facts in order to identify and comprehend the various crimes that are prevalent, as well as to locate and prove a suspect guilt. It's also a method of locating and gathering evidence of a crime to guarantee that every information obtained is reliable. So, kapag nag-conduct tayo ng isang investigasyon, lahat ng mga collect nating information and evidence is dapat ay reliable and relevant doon sa krimen na nangyari. Upang sa ganun ay madali nating malulutas ang isang kaso kapag accurate yung mga evidence na nag-gathered natin.
Nagamit ang mga tools na ito sa pag-conduct ng naturang investigasyon through information, interview, interrogation, at instrumentation na makakatulong sa pagbilis ng paglutas ng kaso sa pamamagitan ng mga ito. The importance of different search methods in crime scene investigation is that it will show how those approaches can be implemented in solving a case, because crime scene investigation methods are extremely helpful. So the purpose of criminal search is to find evidence that can identify a suspect to a crime scene or victim, as well as to address issues that are crucial to the investigation, such as where a crime occurred, because we can characterize the methods and aspects that will be utilized in investigations where this type of crime scene investigation is a huge priority, since it is only here that the crime can be accurately identified. So it is also essential in gathering evidence because the information collected at the crime scene will be accurate and reliable, because there are a series of crime investigation search methods that provide significant benefits and assistance in ensuring that the resources gathered can resolve the case. So, dumako naman tayo sa warrant of arrest. In my insight, it is a document that is served on an accused person and contains the reason for the accusation. So, bago natin arestuhin isang kriminal, kailangan natin ng warrant of arrest na kung saan ito magsisilbing probable cause ng pagkadakip at pagkahuli sa kanya. So, ang warrantless arrest naman, in my insight, if the person arrested immediately commits an offense or is prosecuted or after escape and forced resistance, the official in charge of the arrest must tell the person imprisoned of the authority and justification for imprisonment. So, sa simpleng explanation, ang warrantless arrest, kapag ikaw ay nakita ng law enforcement officer na caught in the act yung paggawa mo ng krimen, is pwede ka nilang arestuhin kahit walang warrant of arrest. In search warrant naman, is a warrant issued that allows law enforcement officer to search a person, location, or vehicle evidence of crimes and seize any evidence found. So next is theories of crime causation. So this subject na diniscuss ni sir ay may mahalaga ring chapter, a nature of criminology, early general theories on the causes of crime, and biological theory. So mas nag-focus ako dun sa difference ng classical theory, positivist theory, at neoclassical theory. So sa classical theory, alam naman natin na si Cesar Beccaria ang father of classical criminology. So together with Jeremy Bentham, pinopose nila yung utilitarian hedonism. Sinabi dito na this doctrine, which explain that a person always acts in such a way as to seek pleasure and avoid pain. So, mini-maintain nila na that man is essentially a moral creature with absolute free will to choose between good and evil. So, in positivist theory naman, si Cesar Lombroso ang proponent nito. Gayun din, siya rin ang father of modern criminology at siya rin ang nag-promote ng doctrine of determinism. Sinabi dito sa positivist theory na asserted that in the study of crime, the emphasis should be on a scientific treatment of criminals, not on punishment to be imposed after conviction. So, si Cesar Lombroso ay may mga classification of criminal gaya ng bored criminals, criminal by passion, insane criminals, criminaloids, occasional criminals, and pseudo-criminals. In neoclassical theory naman is sought to improve the stances towards the perpetrator who should have an impact on the level of guilt and severity of punishment. Pinagpapalagay ng mga teoryang ito na ang tao ay ginagawang isang makatwirang pagpili ng krimen kung ang krimen ay mababa ang panganib at mataas na gantimpala na may maliit na posibilidad ng matinding parusa. Kung gayon, ang mga nagkasala ay pipiliin na gumawa ng krimen. So, ang mga bata at mga baliw ay hindi dapat ituring na mga kriminal dahil sila ay pinagkaitan ng kapasidad na magsagawa ng malayang pagnanasa at dapat free sila sa criminal liability. I learned that studying crime causation, the different theories that educate us about how crimes are caused in our society and bring harm to everyone in it, was beneficial to us. These ideas enable us to understand how each individual engage in crime and how they respond to their social situation. Theories of crime causation are essentially to fully understand because anyone might become a victim of a crime. Last, we have a comparative police model system. So, nakapaloob dito ang globalization, crime and policing, criminal justice law, global community, world economy, and globalization. In short, it encompasses the study of police organizations and policing practices in various countries. When one person, thing, or other entity has a property or attribute that is greater or lesser than another's. It is also a practices in law enforcement in a variety of situations, and practicing policing requires development, and we would be able to obtain insights on how to deal with transnational crimes. Transnational crime na ito ay nakakaapekto sa buong mundo at sa mga tao na kung saan nag-i-exist ito sa iba't ibang bansa na siyang pagdami at paglobo ng mga krimen na nangyayari dahil sa mga ito. And it is the best practices acquired from police models that we should follow in order to understand the relevance from various perspectives. So a judicial system is a government entity charged with enforcing the law and maintaining public and social order through the legal use of force. Pag mabigyan tayo ng linaw ukol sa transnational crime, let's watch this.
Transnational organized crime.
Despite the situation, the government began to take quicker action, and nothing yet. Zion estimated $700 million.
Dramatic new footage emerged
Inside this warehouse of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service in Los Angeles is a morning sampling of endangered or protected species of wildlife from around the world, discovered, stuffed, and mounted in the homes of private collectors in the United States. More parts of it African elephant, chopped off, and made into a fish. This Asian tiger made its fate on a ranch in Colorado.
Rancher in Colorado had it caged, and an influential hunter paid $20,000 to walk up to the cage and shoot it with what we call a can.
Agents say smuggled into the U.S. every day are elephant tusks for ivory jewelry. More wildlife such as Vietnamese.
What exactly are transnational organized crimes? Let's go back to mid-1970s, where the concept of transnational crime was used by the United Nations in order to identify certain criminal activities which transcend national jurisdictions. Its crimes included, among others, money laundering, terrorist activities, theft of art and intellectual property, weapons, drugs, and human trafficking, selling of human body parts, fraudulent bankruptcy, and corruption and bribery of public or party officials. Since then, transnational crime has spread exponentially, and its viewpoints changed in many major ways. For example, drug trafficking has become more diversified. Criminal networks has given birth to new methods of conducting business, and the structure of criminal networks has changed entirely. Organized crime also has gone global, giving way to the term transnational organized crime. Global governance has failed to keep pace with this revolution, and its effects are massive. Although unprecedented openness in trade, finance, travel, and communication has created economic growth and well-being, it has also given rise to massive opportunities for criminals to make their business prosper. Transnational organized crimes can undermine democracy, disrupt free markets, drain national assets, and inhibit the development of stable societies. It is then understood that there is a lack of information on transnational criminal markets and trends. The few studies that exist have looked at sections of the problem, by sector or country, rather than the big picture. It is the forces of globalization that facilitate economic growth and positive cultural and social change are also inadvertently being utilized for negative effects and are benefiting perpetrators of crime across boundaries of nations and continents. Transnational crime is taking advantage of the globalization process to enhance the speed and frequency of its conduct of illicit activities. Surprisingly, these criminals are quick to adapt to the changes of technology, people, and goods mobility to cross borders through social networks while exploiting the lack of international cooperation between countries. They also exploit different legal frameworks between countries to successfully undermine state efforts in curbing their illicit activities. Burdened by bureaucracy, bounds of sovereignty, and an uncoordinated international system, law enforcement bodies and agencies around the world are ineffective in their endeavor to catch up with the flow and the dynamism employed by criminal organizations. Transnational networks have been utilized by criminal organizations to increase the speed and frequency of their operations and to increase the degree of challenge to the authority of the state with an enhanced capacity to plan, direct, and organize their criminal operations in countries
That's all.
while
Thank
based
you.
in another.